You're invited to participate in a true multimedia experience coming to a home near you. LCM TV is bringing Lake County into the new millennium with news, live broadcast, information, music, talk shows, and local programming, all streaming in high definition online and soon to be on your Roku box. Join us at lcm-tv.com or be a part of our studio audience. You can also watch the shows at lakecomagazine.com as we provide programming to inform, enlighten, and maybe even enrage you. On Lake County Magazine Talk Show with Terry and Pete the Tax Guy, Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Joni Lane brings a positive light to you every Monday at 3 p.m. Pasha Space brings an international flair as they discuss ecological, health, and social issues in Haiti with people around the world. End up your week with positive, conscious sounds on Saturday at 9 a.m. with Sister T on the Bridge. This show is also simulcast on KMEC 105.1 FM in Ukiah. Our latest show, LCM TV News, is brought to you live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon, featuring national, regional, and local news, weather, and sports. We have it all here for you on your local TV station, LCM TV. Join us online and soon on Roku, giving you access to all the best Lake County has to offer. We are lcmtv.com, your multimedia connection. Tune in for the fun. It's live TV at its best.
And good afternoon. This is LCM TV News at Noon. We're not your normal news. I'm Pete Schiffman.
I'm Megan Berger.
And thank you for joining us today. In a late-breaking story this morning, a reporter and a cameraman who were conducting a live interview with a lady in charge of the head of the Chamber of Commerce were shot and killed this morning. In Virginia. The gunman was a disgruntled employee. Was a disgruntled employee. Left the scene. However, the law enforcement pursued and was familiar with the case because when the cameraman dropped his camera, the alleged gunman had his picture taken, so they were easy to identify. And after pursuing the gentleman, after also receiving some of his cell phone calls, he was captured he was shot. Committed suicide before the law enforcement could apprehend him. So again, a reporter and a cameraman were shot dead this morning conducting a live interview in Virginia. She was?
Yes.
Okay, and the head of the chamber was also wounded at that time. So, in our national news,
Go for it.
not on screen.
Oh, it's not on screen?
No. Anyway, folks, starting off the national news,
Oh, never started on.
excuse me while our technical difficulties are occurring.
Besides me around here.
The man who was charged with scaling the White House perimeter fence earlier this year was shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy at a suburban Philadelphia courthouse after stabbing another deputy with a knife. Gunshots were heard at Chester County Justice Center in Westchester, Pennsylvania around 11 a.m. local time Tuesday, and the courthouse was put on lockdown. District Attorney Tom Hogan identified the man as Curtis Smith of Coatesville in Chester County. Smith, 34, entered the courthouse and shouted, "I'm going to get you." Hogan said that one deputy was treated for stab wounds to the arms and hand. Smith has achieved notoriety when he breached the White House security by climbing over a stone wall of the presidential mansion on March 1st of this year. He was immediately arrested and taken into custody by the Secret Service and charged with unlawful entry. Smith trespassed with a third in a series of similar but unrelated security breaches that occurred at the White House in a 24-hour period. Smith was scheduled to face a preliminary hearing for unrelated burglary and harassment charges in October. It's not clear why he was at the Chester County Justice Center on Tuesday.
And in our next story, the new municipal judge in Ferguson has recalled all arrest warrants issued before 2015. The decision gives many residents of the troubled Missouri City a fresh start, just days before court reform laws to take effect. Issued by Ferguson Municipal Court Judge Donald McCullen, the order applies to all arrest warrants prior to December 31st, 2014, whether for minor traffic violations or more serious offenses. Close to 10,000 warrants are affected by the decision. These changes should continue the process of restoring confidence in the court, alleviating fears of the consequences of appearing in court, and giving many residents a fresh start, said McClellan, who was appointed to the post in June. His predecessor, Ronald Brockmeyer, resigned in March following a scathing Department of Justice report accused Ferguson of unconstitutional practices and racial profiling. Voiding the warrant does not get rid of the charges for the original violations. However, to resolve those, defendants will be given new court dates as well as options to pay their fines, from payment plans to community service. And in addition, the Missouri Department of Revenue said it would reinstate driver's licenses suspended solely due to unpaid fines or failure to appear in court.
Nearly 2,000 tons of sewage has polluted Honolulu's renowned Waikiki Beach due to heavy downpours brought by Tropical Storm Kilo. Flooded with rainwater, the local sewer system spilled out onto the streets and drained into the surf. Wastewater erupted in fountains from manholes and streamed down into the ocean through the beach area of the popular tourist destination hosting some of Hawaii's biggest hotels. The now closed beach area is nearly 6.5 kilometers long. Warning signs have been posted in the area, and police and lifeguards are turning visitors away. It might take several days before the authorities clean the beach enough for the people to safely enter the sea. Until then, swimming in the area is prohibited. The epicenter of the spill was at the Ala Moana Beach Park at the edge of Waikiki, where sewage poured out from manholes onto the street right in front of a shopping mall. To a certain extent, the problem was caused by the locals who tried opening manholes to redirect upcoming stormwater into the sewage system to prevent homes and cars from flooding. But large quantities of rainwater overwhelmed the sewage system.
A United Nations-backed carbon trading scheme in Europe, originally meant to combat global warming, has instead resulted in the release of more than 500 million additional tons of greenhouse gases, according to a new report. The Stockholm Environment Institute, or the SEI, report released Monday found significant problems with the efficacy of carbon offsets. The researchers found issues with 75% of 872 million offsets and point to a lack of oversight as the main problem. The Joint Implementation (JI) carbon trading scheme, established under Kyoto Protocol, may have seriously undermined global climate action. Faults in the JI have released 600 million tons of carbon dioxide, more than if the scheme wasn't in place, according to the report. The study focuses on that part of the JI that is not subjected to international oversight, but is instead left up to individual countries to administer and ensure integrity. Carbon trading markets let companies in certain industrialized countries earn the right to emit greenhouse gases by funding offsets elsewhere, like cleaning up combustible piles of abandoned coal mine waste. In theory, this will keep the total emissions under goals set by the European Union, but the plan only works if the offsets make it a legitimate reduction in emissions. The SEI study found many do not. An overwhelming majority of scientists agree that man-made greenhouse gas emissions are elevating average global temperatures and disrupting weather in dangerous and costly ways, from severe droughts and prolonged fire seasons to stronger storms and raging floods.
After surging through most of the trading day, Wall Street put the brakes on a significant rally late in the session Tuesday as all the major U.S. averages fell firmly back in correction territory. The Dow Jones Industrial Average shed 205 points, while the Nasdaq declined 19 points. All 10 of the S&P 500 sectors closed the trading day in negative territory. It looked like to be a positive day on Wall Street before momentum deteriorated in the final 30 minutes to trade. At the close, the Dow saw its largest six-day point decline since October 2008, dropping to 15,666.
In what appears to be an epidemic within government, it has been revealed that 2 more government officials have been using personal email accounts for government business. Besides Hillary Clinton, who the FBI is investigating the use of her personal email for receiving classified information and for communications regarding Benghazi, now the government has released information regarding Ambassador Caroline Kennedy and former IRS official Lois Lerner. Kennedy and senior staff at the U.S. Embassy in Japan used personal email accounts for official business, making Kennedy the latest Obama administration official to run afoul of email security guidelines. The State Department's Office of Inspector General, or the OIG, reports said it received reports concerning the use of private email accounts for official business and identified instances where emails labeled sensitive but unclassified were sent from or received by personal email accounts. The OIG stressed the department policy and says employees generally should not use private accounts for official business, citing the risk of hacking and data loss. Ambassador Kennedy uses an official email address for official business. As the report reflects, in the past, like others at the mission, Ambassador Kennedy infrequently used her personal email for official business. Email issues aren't confined to the State Department, and the IRS admitted Monday to a federal court that there was a second personal email account that Lois Lerner, the official at the heart of the Tea Party targeting scandal, used to conduct agency business. The email account apparently was set up under the name Toby Miles, which is the name of Lerner's dog. IRS lawyer Jeffrey Klimas told the court that as it was putting together a set of documents to hand over to Judicial Watch, attorneys discovered another email account in addition to her official account and a separate personal email already known to the agency. Tom Fitton, president of Judicial Watch, said that the Department of Justice and the IRS have apparently known about the Toby Miles account for some time and cited this as more proof that a special counsel should be appointed to oversee the investigation into scandal. And we will be back with our regional news.
The taxman's taken all my dough and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon. And I can't sail my yacht, he's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon.
Manticorp Tax and Accounting can help you minimize taxation, establish a corporate presence, and save you money. Our over 25 years of experience in domestic and international taxation and incorporation services makes us the best at what we do. Your first consultation at Manticorp is always free, and our discounted rates guarantee you will not end up paying for what you don't get. Try Manticorp today. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@manticorpusa.com.
In the summertime.
And welcome back with regional news. Governor Jerry Brown will sign legislation to give a reprieve to thousands of California students who were blocked from graduating high school this year when the state cancels its required exit exam. Lawmakers earlier Monday said Brown's Senate Bill 725, which suspends the test for the class of 2015, allowing students who fulfilled all their graduation requirements to receive their diplomas. About 5,000 high school seniors were left in limbo in July when the California Department of Education canceled the year's final administration of the exam because its contract with the provider had expired. Lawmakers and education officials are currently discussing replacements for the test better aligned with the new Common Core standards for math and English, including the possibility that it could be scrapped altogether. Senate bill passed SB 725 by a 37-0 vote on Monday, sending the bill to the governor's desk.
The Napa Valley Wine Train issued an apology Tuesday to a book club that includes mostly black women who said they were booted from a tasting tour because of their race. The company also promised additional training for employees on cultural diversity and sensitivity, and they offered the group free passes for 50 people for a future trip. The Napa Valley Wine Train was 100% wrong in its handling of the issue of treatment of our guests. All 11 members of the book club, all but one of whom is African American, said rude employees ordered them off the train Saturday mid-journey and marched them down several aisles to their embarrassment. One member of the group is 83. "You can apologize, but you can't take away the experience we had," said Lisa Johnson, an Antioch, California author who has organized the group's outings to wine country for the last 17 years. "We were still marched down the aisle of the train car to waiting police officers. I'm still traumatized by the whole experience." Wine Train spokesman Sam Singer said the employees had repeatedly asked the woman to either quiet down or get off the train and accept a free bus ride back to their starting point. Giacho said he had a conversation with Johnson, a leader of the Sisters on the Reading Edge book club, and offered the group the free passes for a reserved car where you can enjoy yourselves as loudly as you desire.
A wine train, they have to be quiet. Anyway. A tribe's plan to build housing for its members on the outskirts of Windsor while also potentially adding a 200-room hotel and a large winery generated one of the biggest land use disputes in the young town's history. The 270-member Linton Rancheria Band of Pomo Indians wants to establish a home base, something it has not had since the tribe's 50-acre rancheria north of Hillsburg was illegally terminated by the federal government in 1958. In the past dozen years, it has used revenues from its East Bay Casino to buy up an ever larger swath of land southwest of Windsor. That's where the tribe could build more than 360 homes and a community center on just over 500 acres it hopes to take into federal trust through legislation carried by Representative Jared Huffman of San Rafael. It would add the hotel and a 200,000-case winery if given approval under a future federal environmental review. A separate deal negotiated with Sonoma County would prohibit a new casino on the land while allowing for the prospect of the tribe's more than doubling the amount of property it holds in trust to roughly 1,300 acres, making an even bigger part of Windsor's outskirts exempt from local land use restrictions. Linton tribal officials say their intent is to create a community for themselves and expand their economic ventures beyond gambling. But project opponents have decried the increasing scope and potential impact of the development plans, which they note would require the destruction of 1,500 trees. Opponents say the additional commercial development could deplete local water supplies and bring a huge influx of people and cars to the rural area. They've also taken issues with the revenue source enabling the Linton land deals.
An environmental group opposed to a bottling plant near Mount Shasta filed a lawsuit accusing Crystal Geyser of pushing through an illegal plan to suck thousands of gallons of water a day from an aquifer that feeds the drought-diminished Sacramento River. The group, called We Advocate Thorough Environmental Review, or WATER, filed the suit Monday in Napa County Superior Court, claiming the Calistoga company failed to get proper permits and will be violating land use provisions if it carries out its plan this fall to tap Big Springs, which burbles out through lava tubes at the base of California's largest volcano. The purveyor of sparkling mineral water and juice was not required to do such a report or obtain a permit from the state to open the plant, even though it will use drinking water that would normally go to millions of Californians struggling to cope with the 4-year drought. The plant, which is being readied for opening, is a bitter pill for some of the 3,394 residents of the city of Mount Shasta, who, like everyone else in the state, have been asked to conserve the very water that Crystal Geyser intends to sell. Opponents fear the bottling operation could drain wells and deplete the aquifer, which fills Siskiyou County rivers and streams and feeds the headwaters of the Sacramento River. Judy Yee, the Executive Vice President of Marketing and Business Strategy for Crystal Geyser, said company officials were disappointed but could not comment on pending litigation. The facility, which is under county jurisdiction but would have to use city services, would eventually make juice, flavored tea, and mint drinks. The company plans to phase out its Calistoga and Bakersfield plants and move its entire mineral water operation to Siskiyou County, a concern for 26 adjacent homeowners who rely on well water. And are we going to be back after local news? Yes, we will. We'll be back after local news. Thank you.
SSS Multimedia is sending you smoke signals, providing their clients with the ultimate communication and multimedia marketing, distribution, production, and web-based services. They feature high-def video equipment and quality audio sound. SSS is your multimedia source, from graphics for business cards to television production, radio, live sound, and everything in between. SSS is sending you smoke signals. Get your message out with SSS Multimedia. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@sssmultimedia.com.
Welcome back in local news. North Coast Opportunities, known as NCO, and Mendel Lake Credit Union, known as MLCU, have teamed up to create a fire relief fund for those impacted by the Rocky and Jerusalem fires this summer. Because people's lives and livelihoods are at stake, NCO and MCLU have moved quickly to assemble the managing committee and to make fire relief applications available to the public. The 5-person managing committee is in charge of reviewing applications and dispersing funds was finalized on Tuesday. It consists of MLCU Director of Marketing and Community Outreach, Jamie Gill, NCO Chief Financial Officer, Carolyn Welch, and 3 community members. Elva Hone, a Lakeport resident, retired teacher, and enthusiastic volunteer with various organizations. Lower Lake resident Terry Larson, executive producer at LCM TV and publisher of Lake County Magazine, hold the applause please, and Jake Changerman, a Hidden Valley resident who is studying fire technology at Santa Rosa Junior College. The committee will meet next week to review the first applications. Anyone impacted by the fires are encouraged to fill out the short application for funding. These monies are intended to help with expenses like smoke damage, loss of personal property, and other expenditures incurred during or after the fire. Applications are available in English and Spanish on the NCO and MLCU websites. Applications will be accepted and reviewed on a continual basis until the funds have been all dispersed. Over $30,000 have been raised, and money is still being accepted, with several fundraisers being planned by various individuals and organizations. To donate, simply go to any MLCU branch and make a cash donation or write a check to NCO or Rocky Fire. Savings Bank of Mendocino County recently contributed $2,500. We are proud to be a part of the community that takes care of each other in hard times, says Savings Bank Lakeport Branch Manager Susie Robinson. Savings Bank employees are also showing their support by rallying together through an internal donation drive for the match up to $500 from the bank. MLCU employees are doing a similar drive, also with a $500 match from MLCU President Richard Cooper. For more information on how to apply for funds in English or Spanish, contact NCO Executive Assistant Elizabeth Archer at earcher@ncoinc.org or call 707-467-3210.
A wildland fire reported in the Jerusalem Grade area on Monday was named the Grade Fire and was put down in a quick and efficient manner by firefighters. The Lake County Sheriff Office issued an advisory for the possible evacuation of the area. The advisory did include Jerusalem Grade from Spruce Grove Road east to Canyon Road, Spruce Grove Road from Jerusalem Grade Road north to Noble Ranch Road, which includes all of Black Bass Pass and East Road. The 22-acre fire was under control quickly, although one home was lost, another damaged, and a dog and cat were killed. LCM TV was on the scene and captured this video of the firefighters getting it under control.
Go ahead and just say in addition to.
In addition to the video, the Peterson Fire, located near Peterson Lane and Adobe Creek Road in Highland Springs area, has stayed at 215 acres and is 75% contained. Firefighters improved containment lines to control during the day and continued working on increasing containment lines through the evening and the day today. The area of the fire is rural country, folks, which is steep, covered heavily in brush, and with difficult access. The threat to structures in the area have been mitigated. There are no road closures or evacuation orders in place. Jerusalem Fire is also 100% contained.
Lake County has reported its first probable case of West Nile virus and is investigating a second, serving as a reminder that this mosquito-borne disease is present and circulating. Even though our attention has been dominated by recent wildfires, we should not forget that West Nile virus season is in full force, states Lake County Health Officer Dr. Karen Tate. Since there is no specific treatment once the infection develops, the best prevention is to avoid exposure through mosquito bites. West Nile virus infection can range from mild, even symptom-free infections to deadly forms of the disease. Mild forms of the infection often go undetected, and less than 1% of cases result in severe illness, and these are the most likely to be diagnosed. People over age 50 and diabetics are at risk for more severe forms of the disease. Local surveillance is a joint effort of Lake County Vector Control District and Lake County Public Health. Typically, before human cases occur, the infection appears in mosquito pools, followed by wild birds and sentinel chicken flocks selected for regular testing. The pattern was the case this year, with the West Nile virus first noted in mosquitoes on July 9th, a positive wild bird on July 24th, and a positive sentinel chicken flock on July 27th. The first human case reported this year in Lake County became ill during the third week of July. The second probable case that remains under the investigation became ill in mid-August. Both individuals experienced a neuroinvasive form of the infection, which can produce symptoms ranging from a form of meningitis to more severe and potentially permanent effects on the nervous system. Fortunately, both Lake County residents are making a good recovery.
On Monday, August 17th at 8:50 a.m., Humboldt County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a report of an arson, fire, and burglary at two businesses in Willow Creek. The two businesses were River Song Natural Foods and the Golden Ratio. The Golden Ratio is a gem store which sells handmade jewelry, clothing, and other items. Earlier that day at 5 o'clock a.m., an alarm went off at the Golden Ratio regarding a possible break-in. No law enforcement units were currently on duty in the Willow Creek area. At approximately 5:07 a.m., it was reported there was a structure fire now occurring at the Golden Ratio. The Willow Creek Fire Department responded to the scene. When they arrived, they noticed that both the River Song Natural Foods and the Golden Ratio were engulfed in fire. The Willow Creek Fire Department was able to gain assistance from several Bay Area Fire Department personnel and their equipment, which were staying at Camp Kimtu because of the wildland fires. With their assistance, they were able to gain control of the structure fires. Once the fire was under control, it was determined the fire was caused by arson. Fire investigators with the Humboldt Bay Fire Department then responded to the scene. It was later determined by law enforcement and arson investigators that a break-in occurred at the stores and items were stolen before the arson occurred. This case remains under investigation of the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office and the Arson Task Force. At this time, it is unknown the exact amount of items that were stolen from the business prior to the arson fire. The Humboldt County Sheriff's Office, through their investigation, has located a photo of a possible person of interest in this incident. The Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in identifying the male subject in the photo. Anyone with information regarding this case or related criminal activity is encouraged to call the Humboldt County Sheriff's Office at 707-445-7251 or the Sheriff's Office Crime Tip Line at 707-268-2539.
On Saturday, August 22nd at approximately 11:59 a.m., a patrol deputy contacted 41-year-old Brian Gene Smith of Lower Lake behind a business located in the 16,000 block of Main Street in Lower Lake. Smith had reportedly left an inappropriate letter for a 14-year-old female. The deputy noticed that Smith was standing behind his white van with the double doors open. As the deputy exited his patrol vehicle, Smith walked towards him and said he could explain the note. He said the individual he intended to receive the note was older than 14, but admitted he had only seen her from a distance. During his contact with Smith, the deputy noticed that he was exhibiting the signs and symptoms of being under the influence of central nervous system stimulant. The deputy asked for Smith's cooperation in participating in a series of tests to determine whether or not he was under the influence of illicit drugs. Smith refused to comply and became increasingly agitated. The deputy approached the rear of the Smith's van and immediately detected the strong odor of marijuana emitting from the inside of the vehicle. He looked inside the van and noticed a clear plastic baggie containing marijuana, which he seized. The deputy conducted a search of the vehicle and located a glass pipe inside the pocket of a pair of pants. The deputy recognized the pipe as the type used to ingest methamphetamine. Residue in the pipe was consistent in color to that of methamphetamine, and the pipe appeared to contain a usable amount. During the vehicle search, the deputy located what appeared to be various Native American artifacts. Some of the artifacts were attached to index cards which describe the item and the date it was located. Some of the index cards also describe the location the items were taken and the depth of the soil they were retrieved from. Some of the artifacts included various pieces of obsidian and other rocks which were shaped into points in clay pottery bowls. The deputy also located a flash drive which contained images of Smith holding a rifle, with another male subject holding obsidian points taken from an unknown location. The deputy had just attended an archaeological violation investigation course with several other deputies from the Lake County Sheriff's Office, officers from various other law enforcement agencies, and representatives from several Lake County tribes. The The course was held locally and focused on crimes associated with the looting of Native American artifacts. Through this training, attendees learned that Lake County contains several hundred archaeological sites associated with local Native American tribes. Several of these archaeological sites are located around Clear Lake, with recent drought conditions have exposed. Based on the coursework, the deputy immediately recognized the aforementioned items to be historically significant artifacts likely associated with burial sites. The deputy also knew that the removal of these items was a public offense and a desecration of Native American burial site is a felony under the California Health and Safety Code. After the deputy completed the vehicle search, he recontacted Smith, who spontaneously said he was going to return the items to the tribes and that he was writing a book on the subject. The deputy compared the letter Smith had written to the 14-year-old female with the index cards describing the artifacts and where they were found. He noticed that the writing appeared to be similar. The deputy also contacted an archaeologist who was going to review the seized items and make a determination as to where they may have originated from and confirm their cultural significance. Brian Gene Smith was arrested for possession of Native American artifacts, removing or injuring any object of archaeological or historical interest, being under the influence of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of marijuana. He was transported to the Lake County Hill Road Correctional Facility and booked. Dino Beltran of the Khoi Nation of Northern California issued the following statement after the incident. The Khoi Nation is very grateful to Sheriff Martin and the women and men of his department for their work with us and the Haba Metolel Pomo of Upper Lake in bringing the archaeological crimes damage and investigation conference to Lake County last week and putting those tools to work just days later. It shows that the Sheriff Department and the District Attorney's Office have put archaeological crimes at the forefront of what has been occurring for many years. As descendants of over 21,000 years of history of the Aboriginal people here in the Clear Lake Basin, and with continual practicing of our traditions, we and all of our community are caretakers and stewards of this land and will therefore all participate in the protection of these precious cultural resources. This is the beginning of expanding collaborative efforts to make our community a safer place.
That was a long story. Yes.
It was all important.
Yes, it was.
Very.
On Friday, August 21st, at approximately 12:22 p.m., Mendocino County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to Cobbler's Point, located in the 8400 block of North Highway 1 in Little River, California, to assist the California State Parks with a search for a missing person. Deputies arrived and learned the missing person was visiting the Mendocino coast with a friend. Both men entered the Pacific Ocean at Cobbler's Point to dive for abalone. The friend became ill from the rough ocean conditions and exited the water. While exiting the water, the friend lost sight of the missing person and climbed to the top of the bluff. From the top of the bluff, only the missing person's overturned flotation device was visible. The friend ran to Van Dam State Park and contacted emergency services. Mendocino Volunteer Fire Department launched water and ground rescue assets. The U.S. Coast Guard responded with marine and aerial units, and personnel with the California State Parks, Mendocino County Sheriff's Office, and Mendocino County Search and Rescue responded to assist with the search. The search continued throughout the afternoon and was ultimately suspended at darkness, with arrangements made to resume the following morning. On Saturday at approximately 12:01 p.m., Mendocino Volunteer Fire Department divers located the missing person near the spot he was last seen at a depth of approximately 15 feet and confirmed he was deceased. The cause of death was not obvious at the time that decedent's body was recovered. A coroner's investigation was initiated, and the cause of death is pending completion of an autopsy and toxicology screening. The missing person was subsequently identified as being Yoshishiro Ohashi from Pleasanton, California.
As many of you know, the LC Tiny Home Village Group built their first prototype, the Conestoga Hut, and entered it into the 4th of July parade in Clear Lake this year. They received a second place trophy for Best of Show and received great feedback from the people at the parade. The LC Tiny Home Village is a collaborative community that provides tiny homes for qualified homeless individuals and families in Lake County. They hope to acquire a plot of land where small one-room houses can be built to provide temporary transitional housing to homeless and economically deprived persons and families in Lake County until they can get on their feet. 30 people helped build the tiny houses in just 2 weeks. It was an awesome community building experience, said Derek Joel Fiedler, project coordinator. Since then, they have been busy networking with key people and organizations, Habitat for Humanity, NCO, the City of Clear Lake Planning Department and City Council, the County, Pacific Union College Missions and Outreach Department, Richmond Rescue Mission, Burger Time, 88.1 KPFC, and many more. The Rocky Fire put a pause to their full-time work on the Tiny Home Village project, but it was encouraging to see the whole community band together to help one another in love and kindness. If we could do that, we can build a village and eradicate homelessness in our community, giving everybody a safe place to be, said Fiedler. They hope you can join them at the Lake County Fair. They will be putting the finishing touches on their Conestoga hut, dressing it up, and entering into the fair. They have had many opportunities for you to get involved. The fundraising donations team and the construction crew have openings for volunteers.
At the August 22nd Time Back Social in Kelseyville, guests enjoyed live classic rock and dance tunes by the new Lake County band Curveball. They can be seen next at the Friday Night Farmers Market in Middletown on September 4th. The Blue Moon Cafe from Clear Lake Riviera, Kelseyville, catered, and there was a variety of sweets provided by the Time Bank members at the bake sale. Vendors included massage, reflexology, jams, temporary glitter tattoos, jewelry, and many of which could be purchased for the Time Bank hours. The raffle was a big hit, thanks to the many Time Bank members who assisted. Time Bankers exchanged time instead of money for services. Membership is open to Lake County residents, businesses, or organizations. You can also drop by the Time Bank office at 307 North Main Street, Lakeport, open Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, visit their website, timebanklakeco.org, or email timebanklakeco@gmail.com, or phone 707-413-0220. The Time Bank is offering a 2-for-1 summer promotion through September 23rd for hours documented by September 30th. Do in exchange for another Time Banker can earn double hours. Through the summer promotion, you'll end up with 2 hours for 1 hour of your time. The next Time Bank meetup is Saturday, September 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Jellystone Park Recreation Room at 14117 Bottle Rock Road in Cobb. Park in front of the Jellystone Park store. You can earn 2 hours for attending, 1 hour for bringing a potluck dish to share, and 1 hour for each new guest you bring. There will be fun, interactive events geared to help you get started and keep going with the time banking. We'll be back with more regional news in just a minute.
More local news.
Taxman's taken all my dough and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon. And I can't sail my yacht, he's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon.
Manticorp Tax and Accounting can help you minimize taxation, establish a corporate presence, and save you money. Our over 25 years of experience in domestic and international taxation and incorporation services makes us the best at what we do. Your first consultation at Manticorp is always free, and our discounted rates guarantee you will not end up paying for what you don't get. Try Manticorp today. For more information, call 707-701-6416 or email info@manticorpusa.com.
In the summertime.
And welcome back. The Lake County Democratic Central Committee will meet Wednesday, September 2nd at the Lakeport Senior Center Conference Room at 527 Canocti Avenue and Lakeport at 6:30 p.m. Please note this is not their usual first Thursday of the month meeting. They are changing the date to the first Wednesday because the county fair is opening on Thursday. Please come visit their booth at the fair near the entrance. They will have information on candidates, memorabilia, and good conversations. The agenda for the Wednesday meeting includes reports from representatives for Congressman Mike Thompson and John Garamendi, Assemblyman Bill Dodd, and State Senator Mike McGuire, as well as reports from the Stonewall Democratic Club Chair and the representative from the Lake County Democratic Club. If you'd like to get involved, please come to the meeting. Meetings are also open to the public, and the committee membership is open to all registered Democrats. The Lake County Democratic Central Committee is the official governing body of the Democratic Party in Lake County. For more information about the Democratic Party in Lake County, visit their website at www.lakecountydemocrats.org and visit their Facebook page, Lake County Democrats. You can contact the Democratic Party of Lake County at 707-533-4885 or by email at democratsoflakecounty@gmail.com.
I know, it's confusing. I want to keep on saying flake. Sorry about that. In a related story, Monica Rosenthal will be the guest speaker at the Lake County Democrat Club meeting on Tuesday, September 8th. Ms. Rosenthal will discuss her candidacy for the District 1 supervisor seat. Lake County Democratic Club meetings are held in the social hall of the Lower Lake Community United Methodist Church at 16255 2nd Street in Lower Lake on the second Tuesday of every month at 6:30 p.m. Lake County Democratic Club is officially chartered club of the Democratic Party of Lake County. Visit the webpage at www.lakecountydemocraticclub.org or contact them at lakecodemclub@gmail.com.
Lily Langtry's portrait, the one she used on the label of her wines, graces the mantel. One of her lavishly jeweled ball gowns takes center stage in Gibson Museum's new display. Lily memorabilia is part of Gibson Museum's look at living in the Middletown area as the 20th century appeared. Lily owned a huge ranch in Gwinnett Valley from 1888 to 1906. Other ladies' labors are acknowledged with a few of the tools invented to make their lives easier. And hand-cranked wine and a hand-cranked wringer to ease laundry duties, a hand iron with its own gas tank. Baxter Bell Berry, his wife and 6 children, came by wagon train from Iowa and settled in Sebastopol in 1852. 4 of those 6 children later had significant influence on the growth of the Middletown area. John Henry, the eldest, built the first house in Middletown. Samuel opened a hotel and livery in Gwinnett in 1866. Like most Gwinnett businesses, Samuel moved to Middletown. He was briefly constable. His toolbox is displayed at Gibson now, and Lutetia, Barry's youngest daughter, married Charles Marsh Young, who commissioned the platting of Middletown. She was a strong partner in the operation of his landmark Lake County House Hotel. Lemira married W.G. Cannon, and their granddaughter is memorialized as Minnie Cannon Elementary School. Gibson's next display will explore the history of Lake County's wine industry, particularly in South Lake County. There were several vineyards here in the 1870s, and rumors of vintners even earlier. If you have early winemaking artifacts and memorabilia, they would love to borrow it. Their general meetings, held the first Tuesday of every month at 5:30 p.m., are now being held in the activities room in the community center across the street. Everyone is invited, and the next meeting will be September 1st.
I know I'm going to screw up this
Fascinating.
thing.
Fascinating.
Dave Broider's Blues Farm are going to be rocking at the beautiful Smiling Dogs Ranch and Winery today. The Hump Day Howard will feature wine by the glass, music, and great people. Not to mention Smiling Dogs. It is National Dog Day, right? There you go.
Yay.
They are located at 6675 Kelsey Creek Drive in Kelseyville. Call 707-279-2762 for more information, or go to www.smilingdogsranch.com or find them on Facebook, Smiling Dogs Ranch.
And now we're going to move on to our weather. Today will be generally sunny despite a few afternoon clouds with a high of 93. Winds will be from the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight we will have a few clouds and a low of 59. Winds remaining from the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow will be sunny along with a few clouds and a high near 95. Winds shifting from the west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow night should be partly to mostly cloudy with a low of 62, and winds remaining from the west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour as well. When we join you back here on Friday, we'll have a cloudy sky early on, followed by partial clearing with a high of 91. Winds shifting back out of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, and there is a slight chance of rain over our weekend.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Oh,
Okay,
wait.
we're going to keep going besides our director changing our mind. And in sports, Oakland's only authorized developer for a new mega sports complex surrounding the O.Co Coliseum showed up to a news conference in Jack London Square on Tuesday with no clear financing plan and no champions from the mayor's office, the County Board of Supervisors, or the Raiders football team he hopes to keep in town. It's their loss, not mine. They're not here, said Floyd Kempfert, a Southern California businessman who 10 months ago promised to shore up a development that Oakland has long had in the works. But each developer has failed to raise enough funding. Kempfert called the news conference to present glossy renderings of the stadium proposal he had privately submitted to Oakland City officials Friday, a palm-lined complex resembling an airport terminal with the Raiders logo emblazoned up at the top. But Kempfert was vague about who would pay for the Coliseum City, a 120-acre development that would combine new housing and retail with a $900 million stadium for the Raiders. The total complex is estimated to cost $4 billion. The lack of a firm financial plan at this stage suggests Kempfert and his partners at New City Development, LLC, may do no better than previously developers who failed to drum up enough capital. Meanwhile, the Raiders are edging closer to leaving Oakland. Oakland officials are trying to persuade the team to stay, presumably with the enticement of a firm stadium deal. But the Raiders are eyeing a proposed stadium in Carson, Los Angeles County, which they would share with the San Diego Chargers. Even Kempfert seemed unsure about whether he could get the project off the ground. Go for it.
IndyCar driver Justin Wilson died Monday night from a head injury suffered when a piece of debris struck him at Pocono Raceway. He was 37 years old. Wilson, a British driver who lived outside Denver in Longmont, Colorado, was hit in the head during Sunday's race by a piece of debris that had broken off another car. Wilson's car veered into an interior wall at the track, and he was swiftly taken by helicopter to a hospital in Allentown, Pennsylvania. His younger brother, Stefan, also an IndyCar driver, tweeted, "He was my brother, my best friend, my role model, and mentor. He was a champion." The last IndyCar driver to die from an on-track incident was Indianapolis 500 champion Don Weldon, who was killed in the 2011 season finale at Las Vegas after his head hit a post in the fence when his car went airborne. After Weldon's death, Wilson became one of the 3 driver representatives to serve as a liaison between the competitors and IndyCar. It was no surprise the 6'4" Wilson, easily the tallest in the series, was well liked. In addition to his wife Julia, Wilson is survived by 2 daughters, 7 and 5. Family asked for donations to a trust fund for his daughters in lieu of flowers.
ESPN announced Tuesday that it pulled analyst and former Major League pitcher Curt Schilling from his Little League World Series broadcast team over a tweet by Schilling that compared Muslims to Nazi-era Germans. Schilling retweeted a post Tuesday morning that said, "Only 5 to 10% of Muslims are extremists. In 1940, only 7% of Germans were Nazis. How did that go?" Schilling later deleted the post from his Twitter feed. Network said the tweet was unacceptable and that it made the point very strongly to Curt. ESPN said Schilling was removed from the Little League World Series assignment pending further consideration. For his part, Schilling accepted a suspension in another Twitter post Tuesday afternoon, stating, "I understand and accept my suspension. 100% my fault. Bad choices have bad consequences, and this was a bad decision in every way on my part." And as a footnote, he has been nominated for the Hall of Fame 3 times and is denied 3 times. Wonder why.
Cheyenne Chapin's penalty kick brought Clear Lake to within a goal with 30 minutes left in the second half, but the Cardinals, even with the 1-player advantage the final 15 minutes, fell 3-1 to the Rancho Cotati Cougars in the opener for both of these varsity girls soccer teams on Monday in Lakeport. Clear Lake, 0-1, had to shuffle its defense at the last second because of a weekend wrist injury sustained by keeper Brooklyn Jenkins. Regina Falilla, the Cardinals' starting center mid, moved into the net and did quite well, according to Clear Lake coach Paul Laria. Rancho Cotati scored the only 2 goals of the first half. Chapin's penalty kick made 2-1 in the second half. The Cougars lost a player to a red card a short time later, but Clear Lake was unable to take advantage of the 11-on-10 opportunity. Clear Lake hosts Technology in a long league game Wednesday at 3:30 p.m.
Clear Lake High School sophomore Tanner Hutton turned in a solid performance Saturday night while competing in a motocross race at the Riverfront MX Park in Marysville. While racing the 250cc class, he finished first overall with 2 hole shots. Racing the 450cc class on his 250cc bike, he placed second overall. Hutton credited his success to his longtime sponsor, the late Buzz Mewborn. Hutton is also a standout basketball player for the Cardinals.
I do the final word after
Okay,
this.
so I'll do this one.
Okay.
Attention race fans, Lakeport Speedway races have been canceled for next weekend due to the fires. They will resume back at Lakeport Speedway September 3rd through 6th for Lake County Summer Fair, featuring on September 3rd, Donkey Baseball, the 4th, Mud Bogs, the 5th, Flat Track Motorcycles, and the 6th, the Dirt Nationals, including jalopies, will be featured.
Sounds like fun.
Oh yeah.
I watched the Mud Bogs last year. It was fun.
What are Mud Bogs?
They're 2 trucks and they just go through a thing of mud to
Oh,
see
that's
who
what it's
can
called.
not get stuck.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
I think I have video from last year too.
I guess my Suburban could do that.
Yeah.
Probably.
I have a
Yeah.
massive lift kit on it, so that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anybody home?
Not really.
Yeah, we're on the air, but you can come in.
Go
And
for
our
it.
final word. Is it possible for humans to not eat or consume water for longer than 3 or 4 days? What used to be scientifically impossible is now under great question as a teenage boy in south central Nepal meditated for 10 months and did not consume food or water during the entire time. The story is receiving more attention these days as the world continues to open up to new possibilities. Ram Bahadur Bahman, also known as Buddha Boy, decided one day to go to a retreat in Nepal and begin meditating for what he initially said would be 6 years. His actions quickly became a huge news story as he received attention from thousands of visitors. The media also had a field day with his story as he attracted journalists and filmmakers from all over the world. One of the most notable pieces of attention came when a Discovery Channel film crew traveled to Nepal to determine if it was possible for a human to abstain from all forms of sustenance. Going into the film, the general understanding was that a human could live for several weeks without food supply by living off of fat and protein stores within the body. The troubling thing when it comes to studying Buddha Boy was that the average human can only last about 3 or 4 days without water. He was being observed for longer than 4 days and was showing no signs of dehydration. To determine whether or not it was an elaborate hoax, the film crew set up cameras for 96 straight hours where they observed his every move or lack thereof. Their observations determined there were no hidden water pipes or food sources. What they were witnessing through their extensive filming was what would some call a scientific impossibility. Ram's meditation lasted 10 months before he suddenly disappeared. While some had believed he was kidnapped, it was later determined he decided to leave the hype behind and go deeper into the Nepal jungle to continue meditation. He felt there was no peace while remaining in the area that had become a tourist attraction in Nepal. He has since appeared on occasion to give speeches and interact with those interested in his story and blessings. Each time he disappears once again to continue his meditation. Although many believe that Ram is the reincarnation of Buddha, he has denied the fact and simply claims to be enlightened like Buddha through his meditation. The film is titled The Boy with Divine Powers.
You know, that may be true, but I got one better. My beautiful wife and I, when we did our ceremony, we had to go 2 weeks by drinking black coffee only, no food. So we can substantiate that a human body can go without
Yeah, but
substance.
we had water and coffee. He had nothing.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
I understand. I'm just saying that it can be done.
We're not as good as he is.
That is a Native American Lakota tribe tradition before you get married.
Lake County Buddhas.
Okay, so on that note, thank you for joining us. This is LCM TV News at noon, not your normal news, obviously. And we will be back on Friday at same time, same place. And in the meantime, after that, we'll have Pasha Space at 3 o'clock. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pete Schiffman.
I'm Megan Berger.
Have a great day.
Have a good day. See you back on Friday.
Thanks, guys. Great job.
Great show.